So this is a website that's running on my network right now. And watch what happens when I try to break into it without a password. So no password, I just logged in as the administrator by typing a few characters into the login box. That's called SQL injection. And right now, this site is completely defenseless against it. So here's the plan for today. I'm going to put a free self-hosted firewall in front of this exact website. Then I'm going to run that same attack again and we'll watch it get blocked cold. Let's get into it. Real quick, before we go any further, this video is sponsored by SafeLine, the team behind the firewall that we're going to be installing today. They reached out and I'm being paid for this video, but the deal was a completely honest review, so that's exactly what you're going to be getting today. I'm going to show you what's great about it, where it falls short, and if I didn't think it was worth running, I'd tell you. So let's go ahead and talk about why this actually matters. If you've been around this channel, then you know I'm big on locking down your home lab. We've done the UFW, we've done fail to ban, we've even done CrowdSec. While it may not be directly on the channel, the whole tutorial is on the website. But here's the thing all of these have in common. They protect the server, the operating system, the SSH port, the network around your machine. What none of them protect is the web application itself, because when someone sends a malicious request through your website, whether it be a SQL injection, a cross-site scripting payload, that traffic comes in over the exact same port as your normal visitors use, which is normally port 443, regular web traffic. So your firewall waves it right through. As far as it's concerned, it's just someone visiting your site, and you already saw that gap in action. At the start of this video, I walked straight into that site by typing into a logging box. A server firewall would have done absolutely nothing to stop me, because nothing about that request looked unusual at the network level. What stops that kind of attack is a different layer entirely, a web application firewall, WAF, and that's exactly what we're adding to. So here's how WAF works. It sits in front of your web app as a reverse proxy, so every single request goes straight through it. If it's legitimate, the traffic passes through to your site like normal, but malicious traffic injection attempts, known attack patterns, gets caught and blocked before it ever reaches your application. Now, most traditional WAFs work off signatures, basically big list of known bad patterns, and the problem with that is attackers know it. So they tweak their payloads just enough to slip in past the pattern matching. Now, SafeLine's whole pitch is that it does this differently. So instead of matching keywords against a block list, it uses what they call semantic analysis. It actually parses the request the way your server would. It looks at what the request is trying to do and decides if it's malicious based on the intent, not just whether it matches a pattern. Now, the claim is that it catches variations that a signature list would miss, with fewer false positives. That's the theory. So let's stop talking about it and actually put it to the test. SafeLine runs in Docker, which is already set up here, and I'm already SSH'd into my VM, which I created for this tutorial. It's got a one-line installer, and I actually like how light the requirements are. It's one CPU core, 1 GB of RAM, and 5 GB of disk space. The one real catch, the CPU needs the SSE3 instruction set. Almost every modern processor has it, but if you're running this in a VM like I am, make sure your CPU type is set to host. Otherwise, the install fails. That's the #1 mistake people hit, so I set that ahead of time. And there we go. SSE3 is there, Docker is ready. Now for the actual install. And that's it. That was one command, and it pulled down the entire SafeLine image and standing up a few containers, like the management console, the detection engine, the database. First time through, it takes a couple of minutes, so I just let it do its thing. And when it's done, it hands me everything I need. The console address on port 9443, plus an admin username and a one-time password to log in with. Of course, I'm going to be blurring that password out for obvious reasons. And quick tip, if you ever lose it or need a new one, there's a single command to reset your admin login. I can show that here on screen. All right, now let's go ahead to the console and log in. So here we can see the console. It's a pretty clean dashboard. So right now it's protecting nothing. So let's go ahead and fix that. I'm going to add my site that I'm hosting. So the way SafeLine works, I tell it the address it should listen on, and that becomes the new front door. And then I tell it where my real app actually lives, which is the backend, and SafeLine sits in the middle. All right, so for the 443/HTTPS, I'm gonna click trash and delete it because I don't have an SSL cert for a local IP. Leaving HTTPS on with no cert will just cause errors, so we're gonna take out this row. Okay, so we're going to leave it with reverse proxy. That's what we needed. We're going to add the IP address for the upstream. This is going to be the IP address to our Juice Shop. And we're going to go ahead and add the application name as well. All right, so this is the moment. This is the same website, the same attacks, but now there's a firewall in the middle. So let me go ahead and show you guys side by side. So first, just a reminder of where we started. Now this is the site directly, without any protection. So this was the same injection as the start of the video, and I'm in, logged in as the admin, no password, and the unprotected site doesn't even blink. Now let me go ahead and switch to the protected site and try the same login and see what happens. Now this is the exact same site, but this time through SafeLine. Same login page, same attack. And it was blocked. Same input, completely different result. The injection never even reached the app. SafeLine caught it at the door and threw up a block page. This, the dashboard that we're going to show, is what we want to see. So this is SafeLine's dashboard. Let's go ahead and go to attacks. And look, it already caught my attacks. Right here, the attack count, the exact time I ran them, and look how it detected them. Semantic analysis. That's the engine we talked about earlier. It didn't just match a keyword on a block list, it actually understood what those requests were trying to do. And if I open it up, I can get the full picture. The source IP, which was me, the exact payload that I sent, and what SafeLine classified it as. You can see that right here. So I'm not blocking blind. I've got a complete record of every attack that hit this site, what it was, and where it came from. And think about what that means in the real world. The first time you expose something to the internet, you are getting hit by automated attacks constantly, bot scanning, injection attempts, all the works. With this, you don't just block them, you can actually see them, and for a home labber, that's genuinely eye-opening. Now everything I've just shown you, the install, the blocking, the attack log, all of that is the free community edition. And I want to be really clear about that because it matters. Now, SafeLine gave me a pro license to show you what the paid tier adds. So let me go ahead and drop that in. I won't show it on screen. And here's the honest, important part. The pro version does not make Firewall better at catching attacks. That semantic analysis engine that blocks everything I threw at it is the exact same engine in the free version. Free and Pro detects identically. So what the paid tiers actually add is scale and operations. The free edition predicts up to 10 applications. Pro is for when you basically have more than that. You get load balancing across your backend servers, multiple admin accounts, IP geolocation blocking, exporting and forwarding your attack logs, better threat intelligence, and priority support. Oh, and customizable blog pages. And I want to address this directly. Some of you are already thinking it. SafeLine is developed by a company based in China. Now, for some of you, that's a complete non-issue. For others, it matters. And I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it. Now, for my actual take, as someone who cares about this stuff, it's self-hosted, which is the part I really care about, and it's a reverse proxy running on your own hardware. So your traffic isn't flowing through someone else's servers like a cloud WAF. It's a different risk profile entirely, but same advice, as any tool in front of your traffic, don't expose the admin console to the internet. Keep it on your LAN or behind a tunnel, and decide based on your own threat model. So, who is this for? If you've got anything web-facing in your home lab, maybe a blog, a self-hosted app, an API, and right now there's nothing in front of it, now this is a free and fast way to close the real gap. Now, would I keep running it? I would. I keep running it in front of anything web-facing that isn't already behind Cloudflare. Because Cloudflare gives me edge protection, but the stuff I reach over Tailscale or expose directly has nothing in front of it, that's where this would earn a spot for me. And like I said, at the very start, this video was sponsored by SafeLine, but everything I just told you, the good and the rough, that's my honest take. If it wasn't worth a look, I'd have told you that too. If you want to try it out, it's free, the link's in the description below. And if you got something out of this, do the usual. Go ahead and like, subscribe. I do a lot of self-hosted and home lab security stuff on here. Let me know in the comments, are you running any WF in your home lab? Or is your web app layer wide open like mine was at the start of this video? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.